Today we're going to build a hydrofoil surfboard and a hydrofoil for the board. I was inspired to do this originally to save money because like a new setup just for the board and the foil and the mast and the wing can cost like around $3,000, and you could easily spend 10 if you want several different shapes of foils and a couple different boards. But it's also just fun to do and fun to ride your own stuff. A couple years ago I built one from a kit, and that worked out pretty good. I had a lot of fun learning how to do it, but now I want some faster foils, so I'm building this one from scratch using a 3D printed core and a hot wire cutter to cut the foam for the board. And I learned a bunch about composites. I've rode some like high-end foils from F1 with like pre-preg, and mine definitely aren't quite that good, you know. A lot of more fine refinement, and they're a lot stiffer on the production-made ones. But as I'm learning more about composites, I'm getting better and starting to close the gap a little bit. And if you make anything that's even remotely shaped like a hydrofoil, you can definitely ride it. It's totally doable. So let's get started. I'm printing the core here in sections on my Bambu Lab 3D printer. And I'm using this carbon PLA, which is my new favorite material. It just prints out so pretty. Look at that one, looks pretty good. We got Annalene doing her second fiberglass layup, and she is already better than me. She has the patience. I 3D printed 2 wings. These are in 4 pieces, and has 2 steel rods going through there. I just put a layer of glass on each side. Okay, I got this finished and mounted up to the fuselage. This will be the first test of my new foil. Well, we got foiling for a little bit and it did work pretty good, but not quite strong enough, the metal inside that. But I think we can fix it. Add some more layers of glass. Just straighten it back out. Almost there. I'm impressed at how strong this thing is. Look, I'm putting my whole weight on it trying to straighten it out, and it's even pulling on there. Now I got 3 layers on this side. I think I got 5 on this one. I just didn't have enough glass. So it's looking strong. Let's go test it out. See if it lasts. This one was a total success. I got probably 2 hours of riding on it and no brakes. Now I am making a little surfboard because I don't have one here in North Carolina. And I want to test out my massive dock start pump wing. I've never tried dock starting. I think now is the time to learn. I'm also putting the next wing. We'll see if I like it. Kind of dial in the settings. I'm loving the Bambu Lab AMS. I have never actually tried printing multiple materials in one print, but when it runs out, it'll just switch to the second spool, so I can have 2 spools going, and that is just awesome. And also I found sometimes one print will fail and then the other one will keep going, and once one fails, it figures it out that it's failed, and I just I go and hit this button here, and then it lets you select the object, and you can hit skip that, so then it will not continue printing the failed, and it'll just do the one that's working. So that is a pretty sweet feature. That's gonna be ridiculous. Back at the shop today, just did a big glassing session on the big massive pumping foil, a layer of glass on the surfboard and on the stabilizer. And tomorrow I've got this one. It's the wing foiling, and I'm filling in the bolt holes just to strengthen them up. And we're gonna try to vacuum bag that over at Dave's. Pretty stoked for that. No power in the shop. I accidentally, it got turned off, but we'll try to get it back on again at some point. We're at Sea State Marine with David doing some vacuum bagging. We are peeling off the beetle tape. That's our peel ply and breather. Are you ready now? I think now we're ready. Because before we weren't ready.
Oh, there it goes.
Ooh.
Magic. I hear leakage.
Fixed it.
So massage it a little bit. That's the edge.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Dave helped me vacuum 2 foils, and the vacuum just puts extra pressure and helps compress the laminate and really makes a nice end result. All right, we are unveiling the vacuum bag foils. It feels super hard. Yeah, vacuum bagging is going to be the way to go.
The front edge looks pretty tight.
It looks awesome, yeah. And to do them both in one go, that's just like amazing. Yeah, because it would take like 3 days for me to make.
Oh, hand layup.
Yeah. Or, I mean, did it all at once. And all this is a little grinding, and couldn't figure out where my holes were. So I used the laser, and it shows exactly where they need to go. Pretty cool. Crazy powerful. I got these roughly trimmed out. This one I started shaping a little bit. I think they came a little bit dry. I should use more epoxy because like when I grind it gets kind of fuzzy. This one came out amazing though. Like they hugged the front edge really good. This one came a little bit off here, but looking down it, it's still like this. The leading edge shape is still really good. Probably better than I would do just like normally when I grind it by hand. So I'm still pleased with that. I think it'll fly just fine. A little bit of ripples going in it. Maybe I didn't get the peel ply down right, or I'm not really sure what's going on. I think vacuum bagging is the way to go though, because this was about maybe 2 hours of work all in for the layup at least. 4 hours of printing, 2 hours of prep and layup, and then you come back the next day and you got a foil. Like usually I have to do, I was doing one on each side. I don't think I could hand lay up and get it to wrap around this tight edge. So I think the vacuum bag with the amount of time saving will be worth it, and I could get a lot more foils done, different shapes, and get on the water faster. Don't think I'm crazy about this SC 110 Epoxy King epoxy. It seems to work, but it was a little bit taking forever to set up. I'll probably use it for less like structural things maybe. Okay, we got all the foils cleaned up with the grinder. Mounted it up on the mast. Hydrofoil off the dock start. I've never done this before. I don't look confident. Ooh. 8 tries maybe so far, and I'm super dry and warm in the gill, so that's a win. This is like the best thing ever. I'm gonna try with the gloves now. Now my hands are actually kind of hot, and the wind stopped, but the wind doesn't go through, which is like nice. The other thing is, once I get up, I don't really know how to pump, so this might just be futile anyway. Okay, oof, that's the end of it. I was about to give up, and then I had a good one, so I had to try it a few more times, and of course, I destroyed it. It was ultimately the bolt holes. I mean, a wing this big, trying to attach it with just some inline bolts is probably not the wisest idea. Those pulled through. I should have filled that it was filled with epoxy, but maybe it's needed some washers at least. I've got the other wing. I could try that tomorrow. I might try build the dock starting PVC apparatus on Wake Thief. Just got the contraption built after sunset. My dock start thing. We'll see if this works. I'm geared up again. I have to get someone in the parking lot to zip me up because I can't do it myself. I'll have to figure out a strategy there in the future. work? The PVC just snapped, so I guess it's not strong enough. Or I did it wrong. Now we're back in Norway, and I'm going to build a hot wire cutter. So we've got a transformer to go from 220 volts to 12 volts, a dimmer. That will be for our power supply, and then I got for the cord, I just bought a lamp extension cord. Oh, and I got some nichrome wire, 26 gauge. I don't think you want to go too thick because then you need more power. Here's the completed wire cutter. Got our switch, a dimmer, power supply. I built this kind of I-frame where the nichrome wire attaches there. Nothing. Okay, I made the wire a little shorter. Let's test this out. Oh yeah. Okay. So maybe I just have to make it a little bit shorter or more power. Cut pretty nice though. Now I made these templates. I transferred them to this hardboard, and I'm gonna cut those out with the jigsaw. I'm using some Gorilla Glue and spraying water to help activate it. There we are, all glued up. So templates are screwed onto both sides. Now we got our foil box. I just ordered this from AliExpress. I think it was like $20 or $30. But it's a pretty good fit for that. Looking pretty good, I think. Leash plugs. Glass is trimmed. That went pretty well. Just one layer of glass, it's a 12-ounce sleeve. And then trim it, do the other side. And I'm opening my second container of epoxy. I used 1.5 liters yesterday, and I'm using probably more than you really need just to be certain I do a good job. Cost for this project so far has been $100 for 3 liters of epoxy, about $30 for the 5 meters of glass, and I think it was $50 or maybe $60 for the foam and the wood for the wire cutting thing, maybe another $20 for the electronics and wire, and then it's just some $5 for brushes. So it's not really cheap, but definitely saving money over buying a new board, and I think it will perform as well as I need it to. But it's also really just like a learning process, getting better at fiberglassing. That's that line, and I did a way better job than the first board I did. So I don't mind spending money on kind of like educational for supplies that I get a new skill from. I think that's worth it. I'm using the built-in epoxy, which has been working really good. Even the colder temperatures, it's been curing. Glassing layer number 2, done. Keeps coming out better every time. Got it wrapped really good around the edge. And like an idiot, I cut out the same side twice, but I think I can salvage this. 5.8 kilograms. All right, now we're gonna test out this homemade foil and this homemade board. 3D printed foil, wire cut board. It's very cold. This wind is 17 knots gusting to 33 knots. And water temperature is 39, so I'll be trying out this beautiful new dry suit provided by Gil. I've only tried this thing out 2 times so far, and that was in maybe 50 degree water. It worked great then, so I think it should do good now too with the extra layer underneath. All right, geared up, good to go. Ooh, first looking good. The down jacket was way too much warmth though. I'm sweating so hard. I gotta give up. I gotta come back up and get Adeline to unzip me. So frustrated. So I was having a lot of trouble getting up on a foil, and it was like I was got up a few times, but not very long. It was just like not much lift, and that might explain the my little issue there. The extreme dihedral. For the time being, I've mounted up this other foil, so we can ride that until I fix the homemade one. All right, wing foiling in Norway, day number 2. I had to get Adeline to unzip me yesterday, but today, through a lot of stretching, I managed to do the zipper all by myself. It's like when you pull it with a string, a lot of time it catches on my underlayer. You just have to really use your hands so you can pull it away from your body. But we're zipped up. A few degrees colder today. I really like the offshore hat. I think that's way better option than the hood. But I have the hood rolled up. You just don't get any visibility with the hood, and it's like I need to be able to see like when the foil is kind of coming up, because I'm not very good at this yet. This is great. It is literally snowing right now. I'm having a blast.
I don't believe you.
I love it. This is better than when it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Last run I was like, it's gusting to 40 knots of wind, but it also drops down to like 5 knots of wind, and with the wave you can't even like stay up in only 5 knots of wind with this wing. So we're just gonna wait for a good gust. thanks for watching. Massive thanks to Annalene for filming me in those freezing cold conditions. I thought the footage looked so good. And also Mark over at Gill for sending me that really rad dry suit. I love this thing. I had never tried a dry suit before, but now that I have, man, I'm not going back to wetsuits. I can't stand wetsuits. Putting them on, especially taking them off when they're wet, I think that's no fun at all. But this thing, it just goes on so easy. Once I got the hang of the zipper, that's the only challenge. The seals aren't like crazy tight, but it still keeps the water out mostly. It's not like a scuba dry suit, which I was kind of learning the difference now. Annalene has this dry suit she uses for scuba diving in Norway, and the seals are crazy tight, and it's a very thick, kind of uncomfortable material when there's like valves and doodads and things. But this is like not like that at all. It's like a very thin material. So this kind of dry suit that Gil sent me, all of your warmth is coming from your underlayers, and I was finding just a thin wool thermal was perfectly adequate in like around 30 to 38 degrees for me, because I was, you're moving around, so you're staying pretty warm. The only shortcoming was I was using a 3mm neoprene glove, which wasn't, it was fine when I was out of the water, but once my hands got wet and then went back out, I lose the heat in my hands. So if I kept my hands dry, then I was totally warm and toasty. The Crocs, probably not ideal, but that worked too. I would just get some bigger Crocs so I could wear some thicker wool socks. I think it's just going to open up so many more possibilities for me now that I can do these kind of things in the winter. And once I get a little more confidence in my equipment, I can see myself maybe going downwinder to Linda Ness or something, or just kind of cruising more out further into those little islands, just having so much fun on these wings. As far as building the wings goes, thinking maybe those 1/4-inch steel rods that I had used to assemble and align the wings, I thought that might give it enough strength to not need a lot of layers of glass, but you definitely need like several layers of glass, probably 4 or 5 layers. But I think in the future I'm just going to switch to using carbon, and now that I know how to do the vacuum bagging good, I think that's the way to go. I want these things to be stiffer and keep making thinner, higher aspect wings. The aspect, that's just like the ratio of the length to width, and playing around with that can make them liftier and perform different. So I think I'm up to like 4 wings I've made so far. I even did that big 10-to-1 pump wing. I wish that thing hadn't broken, because I'm gonna fix that when I go back, because I really want to see what that's like to ride. It should feel to go like super light conditions, and trying to get that dock start pumping should be, I don't know, it doesn't look all that fun, but it's like I want to learn how to try to just do it to I don't know, just say I can do it. I guess that's about it. Thanks again to all the patrons who've stuck with it over the break for the winter. And now I'm in Venice, so should be, I got a lot of projects I'm working on the boat, getting ready for the next sailing season, so those will be coming out soon. I'll see you guys next time.